Welcome back, Connect fam, to the Connect Network TV. I'm your host, Stitches, with my fabulous co-host, Lindsey Morales. Cindy is out today, but we are super excited to have with us today for another insightful discussion. Up next, we're going to be joined by the inspiring Lindsey Dukes, the founder of Medicine Connective, where she actually fuses the power of small group travel, adventure, local culture, movement, breath work is what they call, human connection, intentional workshops, and good old fashioned play to help you disconnect from your daily routine and be completely immersed in an experience rooted in love and transformation. This sounds real good. Lindsey, let's bring her up. Hey, Lindsey. Hi, Lindsey. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. It looks like you came straight off of traveling with that smile. I love it. Can you tell us?
Stays there.
Tell us, Lindsey, really what inspired the inception of the Medicine Connective? Tell us more.
Yeah, so I worked in international travel for about 4 years prior to COVID, left on a complete whim, and started working in tech. And during that time, I was basically just working for a paycheck. And I had given talks years previous about like flipping the table on your life and like, doing something of purpose with your life. And then I suddenly found myself doing the same thing that I've been given talks on not doing, years prior. And so I spent 8 months of 2020 just like trying to search for purpose in my life. Like, what am I doing? And I go on this retreat in Sedona called the Remembering Retreat, where I met the facilitator named Danielle Bryan. We connected throughout the week, like immediate friends, and she found out about my deep experience working in the international travel industry. And at the end of the week was like, what would it look like to take something like this around the world? I was like, sis, I know exactly how to do that. Like my whole last 4 years of my life prepared me to know exactly how to do that. Like, let's ride. And so it started just as kind of like, hey, I wonder if this would work. And here we are 4 years later, and it's my favorite thing in the world.
I love it, Lindsey. I love it, love it, love it. And for those who may be new to the Medicine Connective, what sets you apart from everyone else? And what's the essence of what you're about, your mission and your vision for our future?
So I think it's really hard for us to get to know who we are when we stay where we are, stay with the people who have known us our whole lives, in the same place we've been in our whole lives. I think that when we travel, we get an opportunity to see ourselves in a completely different light. When we travel alone amongst other people we've never met before, it provides a setting for us to start finding parts of ourselves that we may not even know existed. And so I think what really sets us apart is our intentionality that we kind of infuse into this. So, which is our philosophy of the deep work meets the deep play. So each of our retreats, they're themed, and they include 3 workshops around that particular theme. So when it comes to spirituality and all the self-development work, it's like many people take it very seriously. And that's cool. Like life can be very serious, and we're here to have a good time, and it's here to be fun. It doesn't have to be so serious all the time, right? And so our whole philosophy of deep work and deep play, I think, is what sets us apart. So at any given moment, you may find us deep in meditation or breath work or in a yoga practice, and 4 hours later, you might find me twerking in a corner. Like, who really knows what we're doing, right? So it's the full dichotomy of the human experience. Right. So I think that's really what sets us apart, is like the realness and the rawness in the way that we approach spirituality and personal development.
So good. So tell us about your 2024 retreats, because let me tell you, they sound so intriguing. Yeah. And can you give us a sneak peek into what participants can expect from these transformative experiences?
Absolutely. So I can speak to what we have left this year. So we have a trip to Ireland, September 28th through October 5th. And then we have Iceland coming up October 13th through 18th. And then I can tell you that we're only running 2 under our brand for 2025. It'll be South Africa, March 1st through 10th of 2025. And then Italy is July 12th through 19th, 2025. We'll talk white labels in a moment, but we started doing so much of that we've scaled down what we're doing under our personal brand for a good reason. But things that you can expect on Ireland, like visits to castles and stone circles, this mystical farm walk with this old man, where we visit these like holy wells and fairy forts. It's wild. But then of course with the things like the Cliffs of Moher and like all the adorable little towns and sheep and the classic Ireland aspects that you would expect, right? Then Iceland, we visit this little island called Hersey Island that is known as like a vortex, and you can like kind of see energy when you're really tuned and tapped in. Other than that, like local hot springs, chasing the northern lights, again, all of the things that you would want to go to Iceland for otherwise. South Africa, we actually spend 4 days immersed in a Xhosa village. South Africa is like my second home. I spend more time there than I have in the US in the past 4 years. So we do very deep, immersive cultural experiences there, sitting with traditional healers, drummers, hiking to hidden beaches with the locals. We do a full 2-day safari on that trip. And then Italy, cooking class, wine tasting tour, walks through all these little villages, all the classic little, we're going to do a tour around Rome on Vespas, which I'm pretty cool about. So, yeah.
So this is truly intentional. I love to hear that, and diverse from what it sounds. And we're not talking about going from state to state, coming to Florida. Florida's fine. California's fine, but we're talking about global travel. And let's talk about the white label options that you briefly mentioned. This certainly piques a lot of curiosity. So because so many small businesses want to offer these services, but may not be as organized enough to do it. So tell us, how do these offerings empower businesses, and what possibilities do they unlock really in wellness and holistic health for their clients?
Absolutely. So like you spoke to, we do partner with super aligned brands within like the health and wellness space. And we take the work out of it so that they get to show up and get paid as a facilitator just for bringing their people along. So as a business owner, as a brand, you get paid to go on a trip and bring your community with you. We do all the heavy lifting. So depending on the client, sometimes we bring our facilitators if you want us to help facilitate some of these more intentional workshops. We run a lot for some big brand yoga studios where we don't necessarily do the workshops. So we take their facilitators and one operational person from our team, but really taking the work out of the retreats while creating deeper community for them.
I want to ask you, looking ahead, what exciting developments or initiatives can really folks anticipate from the Medicine Connective in the future that you can share?
Yeah. So us scaling back, we usually run between like 4 to 7 trips a year, just depending. Us scaling back so much is indicative of how much work we are doing now in the white label space. So that's a very exciting thing just for us as a business. But I think some exciting things for the masses would be new locations always. We always add 1 or 2 new locations every single year. And also we're dabbling with the idea of doing family retreats. So not just we do some that are just women, some that are co-ed. We're like, who is doing these types of things for families, right? Like, what if I want to bring my kids? Right. So then we would have localized like yoga for the kids, or workshops just for the kids of different ages while the parents are in other sessions. So that's something that we're working through the logistics of what that would look like right now.
That is amazing. I love that idea. And how can our viewers find you and keep up with everything that you have coming up?
So either on our website, which is themedicineconnective.com, or on Instagram, we are the.medicine.connective. Those are usually 2 best places to see what's going on at the time.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Lindsey, for hanging out with us. And if you are a business wanting to take your peeps on a trip, or your squad, your girl squad, or even your family is coming on the trip. Your girl squad, all squads. Get Lindsey. Let Lindsey really take care of it and make it super easy for you. Stay close, Connect fam. We will be right back.
You're watching the Connect Network TV. on the CW.